Yes, so good afternoon, students. Today we will be talking about learning, which is one of the most important topic as far as behavior change communication is concerned. Okay, so what exactly is learning? Okay, the learning is basically the most integral part of behavior change communication. Okay, what is behavior change communication? We want our patients, or we want ourselves, or we want our friends, or our family to take good behavior, to know healthy behavior. Okay, so last lecture we learned about habits. Okay, what are healthy habits, what are bad habits, not to habits which are to be avoided. Okay, and today we will be talking about learning. Okay, so the learning for behavior change communication. Let's see if any of you are still in the waiting zone. Okay, so 2 more minutes. We will wait for those who are in waiting room, and then after 12:05, we will not add any more participants. Okay. Yes. So basically, what exactly is learning? Learning is a process through which all of us go. Okay. We all are teaching you many subjects to make you experts in the physiotherapy. Okay, in the subject of physiotherapy. Okay, so we all are teaching you in community medicine. We are teaching you various topics in community diagnosis, various communicable, non-communicable diseases, and in sociology I am teaching you what are the topics for various what are the topics which affect the various aspects of society, and how exactly that aspects help in the keeping community healthy. Okay, the most important topic which we all are considered in sociology is how to change the behavior of patients uh, from unhealthy behavior to healthy behavior. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's start with today's topic. Behavior change communication, it has three important steps. These are knowledge, attitude, and practice. Okay, so we want the behavior to change from unhealthy to healthy, to go through this process of knowledge, attitude, and practice. Okay, and learning is the most important phase in acquiring the new knowledge for healthy behavior and to develop healthy attitude. Okay, let's take an example of ourselves of exercise. Okay, how many of us know that doing exercise is very important? Okay, we all know that exercise is very important, that is knowledge. Okay, but some of us, or some of the lay people, some of the uneducated people, they might not know what is the importance of exercise. So letting them know what is important healthy behavior, what is the importance of exercise, what is the importance of having a good knowledge regarding exercise, how much exercise is to be done, uh, how much exercise is to be advised to the patients, right? This is important. And what is attitude? So once they know how much exercise is to be done, that exercise is necessary for health, that develops a positive attitude. Okay, what is positive attitude? Positive attitude is nothing but patients, they know that they should do exercise, but what they think. Okay, so exercise is important, what exercises are to be done is knowledge. Attitude is I should do exercise on a daily basis. Okay, there should be motivation. Okay, I should motivate myself, the patient should motivate themselves to carry out the exercises which are prescribed to them. Okay, that is attitude. And what is practice? That the patients or we ourselves, we do daily exercise. Okay, whether it may be to stay healthy, or whether those are the exercises like the physiotherapy exercises which we advise them to treat a condition or disease condition. Okay, so this is the process through which they go, the knowledge, attitude, and practice. And learning is the basis of knowledge and attitude. Okay, so learning is nothing but any relative permanent change in behavior that occurs as a result of practice or experience. Okay, so any relative permanent change in behavior. Okay, so what is our behavior? Okay, we get up late in the morning. Some of us might get up late in the morning, 8 o'clock. Right from the 9 o'clock, we have to attend our lectures and classes. Okay, so we have very less time to get freshen up and and almost no time to do any morning exercises. Okay, so that permanent change in behavior which might occur in the morning, which we might make ourselves to set an alarm and to get up early in the morning at 6 o'clock and do at least 1 hour of exercises till 7, and then start our day from 7 onwards is the most important thing in learning process. Okay, the learning includes not only acquiring knowledge but also skills and formation of habits and development of perception. Okay, that is what is most important in learning. We not only acquire the knowledge about the exercise or the skills about exercises, but that forms a habit. Okay, like in last lecture, I have told you how exactly the habits are formed. So that learning process requires formation of new habits and development of a perception. So we perceive that doing exercise is very important for us. Okay, what are the conditions affecting learning? The most important is intelligence. Okay, then is the age, learning situation, motivation, physical health, and mental health. So these are the conditions which affect the learning. What are the types of learning? Cognitive, that is knowledge. Okay, so having knowledge about, say for example, doing the exercise of Surya Namaskar. Okay, so cognitive knowledge regarding Surya Namaskar. So what are the steps in doing the Surya Namaskar? Okay, what is the starting step? How the procedure goes? Okay, and what is the ending stage? How many Surya Namaskars should we do every day? What time of day we should do the Surya Namaskars? Okay, whether it should be done before having food, after having food, in the morning, early morning hours, in the evening hours, or whether it should be done in the direct exposure to the sunlight to have the skin exposure so that vitamin D production is also increased while we are doing the Surya Namaskar. Okay, so all this knowledge forms the cognitive part of learning. Okay, affective part is when we all have the knowledge of how to do the Surya Namaskars, where to do the when to do the Surya Namaskars, and what are the conditions required for doing the Surya Namaskars. And attitude is nothing but the affective part of learning. So that means we should feel that we should do the exercise, we should do the Surya Namaskar. Okay. So the patient, after they are taught how to do their exercises to relieve pain of osteoarthritis or to relieve pain of their disease conditions, they are taught, that means they got the knowledge. But they should have a affective domain, that they should have the motivation to do the exercise. They should think that doing the exercise will reduce their pain, will reduce their disease condition, and will get their body back into the normal physiological condition. Okay, that is the affective part. Okay, then is the psychomotor part. Okay, what is the psychomotor part? That psychomotor part is the skill. Okay, that means they have the knowledge, they have the motivation for doing the exercises, but they should also know, their body should also be taught to do the exercises. They should have the skill to do the exercises. That's why first we teach them in the hospitals, teach the patients in the hospitals how to do the exercise. If they are doing anything wrong, we correct them, and then at home, once they have acquired the skill to do the exercise on their own, we advise them to do these exercises at their homes. Okay. Yes. Now, what are the theories of learning? Theories of learning are, some of the theories are learning by conditioned reflex, learning by trial and error, learning by observation and limitation, learning by doing, learning by remembering, and learning by insight. Okay. So what is conditioned reflex? So learning by conditioned reflex is Pavlov's experiment, okay, which you all must have been taught in physiology or anatomy. Okay. So what is Pavlov experiment? The scientist Pavlov, he conditioned his dog. What he did is first few days, he rang a bell. Okay. He rang a bell and then he feed his dog. Okay. Then he observed that the dog was conditioned for listening to the sound of bell and then getting the food. Okay. This is the conditioned reflex. Okay, so that is the positive feedback the dog will get after ringing the bell. He will get the food. Okay, so whenever next time the scientist Pavlov, he started ringing the bell, the dog started waving his tail and salivating. That means the dog was conditioned for getting the food after hearing the sound of bell. Okay, so that means that we should learn the things by conditioning ourselves. Okay, so we should condition ourselves that after doing daily exercise for 1 year, I will get a very healthy body. Okay, the patient should we should teach this conditioning to the patients that if they do these exercises for 1 month, their pain in their shoulder or their pain in their knees will subside and they will be able to walk, they will be able to enjoy their daily routine life. Okay, so this is a learning by conditioning reflex. Learning by trial and error. Okay, whenever we are into new things, whenever we are starting anything new which we never did previously, then we learn by trial and error. Okay, the best example is online teaching. Okay, I never took a class before on the Zoom platform. You all might not have used this platform before the starting of pandemic. Okay, and then I had to learn by trial and error. First few classes were very difficult. We had very technical issues. Okay, today also I forgot to switch off the waiting room, and you guys are waiting in the room, and I have to allow all of you to join. Okay, so this learning is by trial and error. Okay, then learning by observation and imitation. Okay, this is what the young children do. The monkey see and monkey do is this phenomenon. Okay, that means whatever we observe, whatever in the childhood we observed our parents, our elders do. Okay, they were talking, they were walking. Okay, and we listened to them, we observed them, and we learned how to talk, we learned how to walk and everything. Okay, then learning by doing. Okay, so this is learning by doing is what we taught you all, what we teach you all in medical schools. Okay, first we give you the knowledge regarding how to diagnose patients, how to treat patients, and then we observe you during your final years or during your internship whether you are doing it correct or not. And then after completing your internship, after completing your courses, you will be expert in teaching patients how to treat them and how to diagnose and treat them. Okay, then learning by remembering, this is the best method for passing our university exams. Okay, we read the books, we attend the classes, and then we remember the data which is taught to you, the data which is there in the books, and then you learn the subjects. And then learning by insight is somewhat spiritual type of learning. Yes. So learning theories are can be divided into internal and external, where internal have mental and physical learning, and external have personal and environmental learning processes. Internal mental theories are constructivism, Piaget, learning style, multiple intelligences, and control theory. While physical internal learning are neurosciences, brain-based learning, and right versus left brain learning. All these processes, they affect the learning process. External learning can be personal and environmental. Personal learning can be through positive behavior. Maintaining a positive, healthy behavior will be the external part of learning. Environmental learning is communities of practice, observational learning, and WOSCI and social cognition type of learning. Okay. Cultural learning, the theories of social change, social learning, common practice, see learning, observation learning, constructive learning, individual cognition depend on constructivism, learning styles, right and left brain, Piaget learning, automatic learning through GPS and script theory, and physiological learning through neurosciences and behavior. Learning by condition reflex response acquired or learned by experience. It's the basis of learning. There are two types, classical and instrumental. Then trial and error based learning, lower animals such as apes and cats, they learn by this method. Yeah, and we also, while learning for teaching you on Zoom platform, we have to learn by trial and error method. Very slow, laborious, and primitive. Learning by observation and imitation, a child copies and imitates gesture, facial expressions, and movements such as walking. Observation is an important element in medical examination. Part of the doctors and nurses' education has always been to observe the patient's condition and to make decisions based on this observation. That's why we teach you the detailed history taking and physical examination and systemic examination. Okay. So this is the observation. So after observing the detailed history of the patients and the detailed examination of the patients, we come to a provisional diagnosis. Okay, so this is learning by observation. Learning by doing, this type of learning, there is a coordination of muscular responses with sensory impulses. Example, typewriting, learning a new game or musical instrument, or learning how to give physiotherapy to the patients, how to teach them exercises, right? Yes, learning by remembering, learning by memorizing, remembering dates, events, memorizing a poem, remembering faces, remembering the definitions, remembering the classifications, remembering the whatever all are there in the books, in the PPTs which we share with you, in the lectures which we take. So all this is learning by remembering. Learning by insight, when we are faced with a problem, we solve it by insight or mental exploration. Okay, when the doctor makes a diagnosis, some amount of insight is involved. Okay, whether it is a tuberculosis or whether it is a asthma. Okay, so all the symptoms might be same. There might be cough, there might be sweating, there might be loss of weight. Okay, so whether it is a asthma or whether it is a tuberculosis, the doctors have to land up in a provisional diagnosis. Okay, so he should do some insight, he should do some processing on that, and then he should come to a provisional diagnosis to help in further investigation and the final definitive diagnosis of the patient, whether it is a tuberculosis or asthma. Okay, so this insight part you will learn after you go through these 4 or 5 years of your training and internship, and then you will have an insight how to diagnose patients or how to narrow down the possible diagnosis for the specific presentations and specific signs and symptoms. Okay, the stages of learning, there are 4 important stages. First is warming up. Second stage is learning, that is receiving input. It is done by consciously by conceptualizing and experiencing. Stage 3 is rehearsing. Stage 4 is applying skills or knowledge automatically, creatively, or rationally. In the warming up stage, the learner motivated emotionally, aware of the need or value of the lesson or the thing which are going to be taught to him or her. They should feel reasonably comfortable to learn. They should know what to learn and they should get ready to learn. This is warming up. The second important stage is learning itself. The patients or the subjects or the students, they are consciously or consolidating what was learned, practicing, and they do exercises, they practices, they discussion, consultation, or they learn what is being taught to them. Okay, rehearsing. Okay, once they are learned, once you have learned one chapter, you cannot remember it for 1 year itself at the time of after 1 year when you are going to appear for the examination. Okay, so rehearsing is very important. Learner receiving knowledge or skills are explained to him or her by trainer, and the learning through experience or discovery activities, the knowledge, the skill sometimes under the guidance of a trainer. Okay, so this is the internship part. Okay, so whatever knowledge we have given you for your 4 years during your internship, we will see whether you are rehearsing it well or not under your professors. Okay, So your professors will observe whether you are doing whatever is taught to you correctly or not. So stage 4 is applying skills or knowledge subconsciously or automatically. Okay. Now after your internship, when you start your own practice, you all have got that knowledge and you all are ready. You all are ready to practice that knowledge. Okay. So applying skills creatively or own innovations comfortably and confidently is the stage 4. So that's all regarding learning. So remember students, the most important slides in today's presentation is behavior change communication. So the basic of behavior change communication is knowledge, attitude and practice, where the learning becomes part of the knowledge and attitude also. Okay. The definition of learning is any relative permanent change in behavior that occurs as a result of practice or experience. Okay. So this is a permanent change in behavior, okay, which is occurring in as a result of practice and experience. Okay. And what are the conditions affecting learning? Intelligence, age, learning situation, motivation, physical health, and mental health. Okay. So the best example regarding intelligence and learning situation is, if your patients, they don't know English language, and if you are trying to teach them how to do exercises in English, that becomes a part of the learning situation. Okay. So you have to go to the level of patient's intelligence and their patient's learning situation. If they know Marathi, if they know Hindi, we need to teach them the exercises in Marathi or Hindi, okay, and not in English. And we need to teach them in a manner in less technical, using less technical terms, so that we are accessing their thinking about their intelligence, and we are making them learn. Okay. And what are the types of learning? Okay. So that's all regarding today's topic. If there are any doubts, we can discuss them. Yes. So yes, students. If there are any doubts, you can unmute yourself, and then we can discuss regarding learning, phases of learning, and everything regarding learning. Okay, I guess there are no any doubts. So thank you all for attending today's lecture. And there are almost 30 to 33 participants who have attended this lecture. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.